today I'm taking on my biggest sales challenge yet. I have 1,600 tulips, and of course they all decided that they were gonna bloom the day and week after Mother's Day. So I need to move some tulips, and while I can store them for a certain amount of time, they won't store forever, so these babies gotta go. Tulips are really a bad investment where I live. So I live in the prairies near Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It's a zone 3 climate, it's pretty dry, and we do not have the types of springs that tulips like. Tulips like, you know, some consistent moisture, not too hot of temperatures. They don't like those big fluctuations. And unfortunately, our springs are cool for a little while, but then, you know, it can easily go up to plus 25 and more for a couple of hours, ruining your tulips. We probably had the most perfect tulip spring ever for our climate. And there was one day where it got to plus 26. And of course, that was the day I was doing errands. Did not get any shade fabric over it, and a lot of my tulips are short because of it. And of course the most expensive ones are like this tall. They're just itty bitty, and it's so frustrating. But instead of whining about it, I'm gonna come up with a plan. So I'm gonna really have to test my marketing moxie, I guess. But my idea is that I'm going to really lean into about the $15 bouquet. And this is just a little bouquet that like you would gift to teachers, you would gift to a friend, a coworker, something like that. Now, of course, this strategy would work a lot better at the end of the school year, but it's not the end of the school year. You can also kind of think of this as like a late Mother's Day present. You know, not everybody can celebrate on Mother's Day, so people might want to give. And then the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to my subscribers and tell them if they know in advance that like there's going to be a month that's really difficult for them to pick up their subscription, say that they're late a lot, then they could get a bouquet in May instead of one of their other months, whichever one is the one that they're not around for. So now that we've got the game plan, it is time to get some samples ready, take all the photographs, and go and spread the word. Let's see if this works. First up, I think we are just going to make like a classic wrap, and this will be about $20, $25. I don't know, gotta count the steps. So let's see what that looks like. So I started by making the full one first. It's basically tulips. I found a crabapple branch that I'm willing to part with, and then these are just some carragana, but they have like kind of a look of pussy willows, which I think is really cool. So I've made up 4 minis. This is enough that I should be able to make some pictures, or if somebody decides to order, then I have at least a little head start, and I have tons of tulips, so we can definitely make more. Same recipe basically as the large ones. I don't know, and I'm really loving this pink wrap. I feel like it just makes it, and I love that it's waterproof. So last but not least, I'm gonna do one jar arrangement. I find that for me, the jar arrangements don't really sell as well, but it can't hurt to have one, or at least a picture of one. And we're done. So, man, tulips are a little, oh, no. Tulips are a little harder to work with than you would think. And of course, I've picked really open ones so that it photographs well. So yeah, let's take pictures of these, post them, and see if we get any sales, and I'll let you know in a little bit. So it's one day after I made the initial announcement about having tulips, all of the beautiful things we could do, and honestly the response has been pretty tepid. And I mean, I knew this, it's the week after Mother's Day, it's a very hard sell. I have one person interested in a $15 bouquet which she wants delivered. Obviously I'm charging extra for delivery, but like this really makes me think that I think I need to put, there's like a $50 minimum spend if you want to get something delivered, and then delivery is on top of that, because like honestly it really does not make financial sense even for the $10 extra to like go and deliver a $15 bouquet. It's really not worth my time, but I guess I didn't set any limitations. So other things I'm going to try. I saw one of the florist shops in the city had a poster about like, get something for your dancer. There is a dance club out here, so I'm going to try that in my messaging. I mean, thankfully it won't be a total waste. Like, I do have a wedding coming up. These should last the 2 weeks until that wedding. Some of them are in her colors, so like that's at least positive. But like in my mind, I spent on the tulip bulbs plus the shipping about $700. So that means like at minimum I must make $700 on these tulips. And like when you think about the time of planting them and arranging the things and advertise, like 700 really isn't even breaking even. It's more like I would need a minimum of $1,000 off of the tulips to kind of break even to account for my time, but we shall see. But all I can say is it doesn't look good for tulips. Another thing that is definitely not in tulips' favor is that all of my fancy varieties, and I did not invest in too many fancy varieties because I knew tulips were probably not going to be profitable, so I wanted to keep costs down. It's all the fancy ones that have the shortest, saddest stems possible, which, oh my goodness, it's so annoying. I'll check in again and let you know how it's going. So unfortunately, there have been no more sales kind of since we last chatted, but thankfully my mom needed a bunch of bouquets. So I don't know if your mom buying bouquets counts, but we're gonna count it. So she needed 4 bouquets. It's like thank you gifts, thinking of you gifts, whatever. So I made those up, and then we made the order, and finally I just have like some thank you bouquets going out just from me. At first I figured like, oh, that doesn't count too, maybe you shouldn't use it. But you know what? If I was gonna get a thank you gift anyway for someone, I would have spent between $15 and $30. Then it's like extra money. The money has already been spent, right? So I don't know. Wonder what you think about that in the comments, or if you do similar. All right, 7 bouquets made. My mom took hers home. I have my 3, so 1 for delivery tomorrow, and then I guess, well, the 2 others are technically for delivery tomorrow too, but I'll just kind of see my friends when I see them. And this really does not bode well for tulips. I really think next year I'm just maybe gonna get like 3-4 packs from Costco and call it a day. We'll see how the wedding on June 1st goes. So I think now basically everything I'm picking is sort of earmarked for that wedding. Thankfully she's not like super picky on color, so I also took today's opportunity to just sort of like reorganize the tulips and just condense them into a few less buckets, which is good. I've also been falling into a bit of a routine with the tulips, which is kind of soothing. Like, you know, you wake up in the morning, see what's bloomed, pick them, and then same thing again later in the afternoon, evening. If it's hot, I will definitely come out and check my tulips a few more times, because we all know hot weather, those things just blow right open. I really do wish I had a bit more to put with them. Like, thankfully I do have some flowering branching trees, so like there's some interest, but it's still not ideal. almost upon another weekend. I haven't had any sales since the last time I talked to you, but my mom decided she needed one more, and I did get a few messages of people saying they would maybe be interested in the minis for dance teachers. So I'm just gonna preemptively make some stuff up, so put it online and hope for the best. Also, we have lilacs in bloom, so that's super exciting. Plus a few of these little shorty anemones. So I think this set of bouquets are going to be really, really beautiful. All right, so the strategy worked a little bit. I got 2 orders over the weekend, so hey, that is better than no orders, which is what we've generally been doing. And I think I have my final opinions about tulips. So thing number 1, tulips are really difficult to arrange with. I think I finally got the feel of it now, but it really took a couple bouquets before I felt like, okay, what I'm making is actually good. Lilacs are also kind of funny too. So it's like all the things that are available in early spring, just, they have their own personalities in the stems, and it just makes for it being a little harder. Second thing is, I think I've decided I'm going to stop fighting to try and make tulips for Mother's Day, because you know what? This year was basically the perfect year on the prairies for tulips. Like, it just, I don't think it gets any better than this for coolness, for moisture, whatever. And it was still a struggle, and I still had my fair share of tulips that had like tulip abortion, the really, really shorties. Like, there's just no point. So I think what I'm gonna do, even though I might not break even, I'm probably definitely not going to break even on tulips. I think I'm going to give it one more try, but with a slightly different strategy. I'm going to aim for June, because I seem to be getting more June brides. So it would make sense to have some June blooming tulips. So I know earlier in the video I said like, oh, probably just going to get stuff from Costco and like whatever. So I think here's the revised plan. I will get a bulk order, but I'm going to prioritize the few varieties that worked really well for me this year. There's the pink tulips, the kind of coral ones that are, or apricot, they looked really pretty. I'll definitely get a white, maybe look into getting a different white. I'm not sure if I like the shape of this white, but we'll see. And I mean, that purple was good. I'm not sure how into purple people are, but whatever. And the yellow was good. So there's like 5 varieties that actually worked pretty decent for me. And then maybe I'll try like one new thing, but instead of getting, you know, 16 varieties, I'm just gonna get those 5, but then I would get like 100 tulips in each of them. And then I would be well set up for any of my June brides that I tend to book. I'm also noticing that I'm booking small orders sort of last minute by wedding standards. So like, I'm getting inquiries for July right now. I just booked a June wedding not that long ago. So I think in the future going forward, Zoomers just book later. I guess that's the way it is. So I need to be prepared for that. So final thoughts. Are tulips a good investment? Not on the prairies. Absolutely not. I think if you're just starting out, you'd be much better served to just buy a few Costco bags to see if it makes sense for you. And then if you can kind of see a way forward, then I would invest in some wholesale tulips. But I don't know. We'll see next year with the weddings if like this final strategy, and maybe even picking later blooming tulips on purpose, works. But I was so close to just scrapping them this year. But so to end, just want to show you this final bouquet. I think it turned out pretty well. So I'm going to go set this up for my customer to pick up, and I'll see you in the next video. A little closer, so just it's more like that part.